For the first time ever, two other creators will be joining Dad and I to take us on in a four-way rebuild. And it's a Premier League battle with four of the biggest six sides, with Dad taking over at Spurs and myself becoming the manager of Arsenal. We welcome our first challenger, BigRobbo14, as he takes on the reins at Manchester United, where our second challenger, Aaron Hunt, will join us as the manager of Chelsea. And for this fatal four-way challenge across 5 seasons, we have switched up the point system to allow for some extra points to be won, seeing as the stakes are much higher. Because we have also added extra points for each season, based on where you finish out of the 4 teams we are using. So strap in for what is an absolute roller coaster of a versus rebuild, as BigRobbo14 and Aaron Hunt join Dad and I for the first ever fatal 4-way battle across 5 seasons on Football Manager. Yes, today it's the first ever 4-way rebuild. We've done 3 ways, Dad. Yeah. That's weird. But today we've invited 2 guests on the channel
Looking
to
forward
take
to
us on.
2 great guys as well.
Yeah, and we're in the Premier League. So first off, we've got BigRobbo14. Welcome, mate.
Ruben Robberim is here. Time to win some trophies.
Of course, you're being the Manchester United manager as well. That just makes sense. I'll let you have that one. I'm taking Dad's favourite team, Arsenal. So there we go. And we have Aaron Hunt. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you for having me, mate. It's a pleasure to be on. Love watching these, so it's good to be on one.
Yeah, you're actually the owner of a football club.
Yeah, I am. On a much smaller scale than this, but yeah.
One day, mate, we'll be doing rebuilds of Daisy Hill.
Yeah, let's
in
get
the
it
Premier
done.
League.
Let's get it done next season. Let's see
Up
it.
the cutters. Let's kick things off then. Season number 1, lads. We've all got some decent sides in the Premier League. We all actually had a bit of budget as well. We'll start off with the Arsenal. I brought in 1 player at the start of the season. That is Dusan Vlahovic. £106 million. They have a bit of a budget, but with some instalments, we're bringing in Dusan because, as everybody knows, Arsenal need a striker. And the only person who doesn't know that is Arteta.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing in Vlahovic to kick things off with a very standard 4-2-3-1. Locking in Saka on the right-hand side as well, because for some reason they think it's a good idea to play Raheem Sterling. But I think Saka on that right with Vlahovic up front, that is the way to go for the start of the season. Over to Dad, and you've actually spent a little bit more money.
Yeah,
but you have sold a couple of players as well.
Yeah.
Got some wages off the books.
I got rid of 1 goalkeeper and got another goalkeeper in, but you know me.
I mean, no shock.
Yeah.
Not one person in this call or watching at home is shocked. And of course, the goalkeeper you've brought in.
And we all knew which one it was going to be as well,
Yeah,
didn't we? Yeah, of
yeah.
course it is. If I got the money to get him, I'll bring him in straight away. So yeah, and I went for a surprise striker. I wondered whether I sort of sold a few players to make sure I could get him. I wanted to get him in.
Alexander Isak.
Yeah, I just think he'll fit perfectly in the Spurs sort of team. So that's the boy I've gone for.
Well, he wouldn't say that. I very much doubt he'd want to do that.
I don't think he would actually come to Spurs if he had the choice.
God, no. I don't know why anybody would. Tactically, Dad, you've gone for a 4-2-2.
Yeah.
Kind of offset.
I don't want to use the wingers. I don't. Spurs not very good with the wingers, so I want 2 up front. That's the 2 up. The Son up there, and Madison and Kuszewski in the middle.
Yeah,
having a go. So, and the 2 centre defenders I've got, they're big guys. So I'm happy with that as well.
Van der Ven on a cover, using his pace.
Yeah.
He's quick.
Yeah.
The lad is quick. 19 for pace. Over to the boys. Aaron, talk to me. Chelsea is the team. We actually did, to pick the teams, it made sense for Robbo to be Manchester United. It made sense for Dad to be Spurs. And then me and you were kind of like, who wants to be who?
We just flipped a coin, didn't we? Flipped a coin on WhatsApp. I said, do you want heads or tails?
You ended up with Chelsea.
I ended up with Chelsea.
Speak me through your transfers.
I've got about 5 million players here already here. As you can see, the transfers out, like, it's an absolute joke, the amount of bodies that they had. But I've brought in I like a big man up front. You'll learn this as we go through the rebuild. I love having a big man up front. So we brought in Dominic Calvert-Lewin and a new left back as well, Estepinian, because I just think he's a quality player, and it's what I wanted. I like a wing back who can go forward and put balls in the box for the big man. Very much Brexit football, to be honest. There's not enough of it in the game anymore.
I agree.
Tactically, I'm going for also like a 4-2-2 offset sort of situation. Attacking wing-backs, locking in Caicedo back there, Neto and Palmer. I'm just hoping Palmer can become an absolute beast, to be honest. He's quality in real life. I don't think it reflects in the game much, but hopefully, give him enough football. He'll show us what he can do. Target forward and advance forward up front. Let's make stuff happen. This is the way I want to play. Hopefully the boys can do me a job.
Well, there we go. Right, over to Robbo with Robber, and we know
Yes.
what the tactics coming, but talk to us through transfers.
Well, transfers, obviously, Man United have a League 2 level squad at the moment, so there is going to be a lot of transfers coming in. The first one that we did bring in was Vitinha from PSG. I do love watching this guy in real life as well, technically, mentally, physically. He's a great player, dictates tempo, so we brought him in for a CDM position. We've also brought in Nico Schlotterbeck, who's a left-sided defender who we all know are really hard to find on the game. Left-footed, good ball-playing defenders. So he's come in. He looks absolutely amazing. We've also brought in Dybala as well. 10 mil release clause, signing of the season, already in Season 1. What a player. Left-footed, tries killer balls. Great finisher as well. He's going to be a real threat in my robbering system. And then we've got Reguera to play left wing-back. Of course, Luke Shaw is injured. You've also got Lisandro Martinez, who's injured. So we've had to bring in some cover on that left-hand side. He's a great crosser of the ball and also very physical. If we go over to the tactic, of course, we have the world-renowned, best tactic in the world, robbering ball. We've put the robbering ball in. We've got the three at the back. We've got the defensive wingers who were inspired by you and Megaluke, I'm not going to lie, but I've adapted them to make them a robbering way. We've got the 2 10s behind Højlund. We're locking Højlund in up front. If I can get Højlund to score more than 10 Premier League goals, I think I have done my job as a manager and overachieved. But yeah, I'm looking to win 5 out of 5 trophies in the first season. Nothing less.
Yeah, understandably. Now, you mentioned getting that many goals with Højlund. He's got 3 already, because if we start off with your schedule, you have started off quite well. You lost the Charity Shield, a first game of the season lost to Brentford, and you think, uh-oh, that's 2 in a row. But then get a nice little victory against 10-men Villa with Højlund scoring at Old Trafford. Then he bags 2 away to Palace.
I mean, I've beat 2 world-class teams already, and the league is looking in fear of the robbering ball. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, you're also in Europa League. Now, we're still using the old style of Europa League. So you got Sociedad, Brest. Everybody loves Brest. Yeah, big fan of that. Hopefully you can get on top of them this season. Midtjylland's in there as well. So I expect that you should be able to progress through that. That is a competition that really you should be putting a stamp on because, of course, we know the point system, although it has slightly changed, I'll explain that again in a sec, it's the big 5 points for a European competition, which is Europa or Europa Conference League. So that's definitely something to be looking into. Aaron, let's have a look at your schedule, mate. Weirdly, none of us have played against each other at the start of the season.
Do you know what? I like that, though. I like that.
That's true. Keeps it a bit of a mystery. Yeah, absolutely. But you've had a cracking start to the season because you've actually won every single game so far, including the qualifications for Europe yourself.
Yeah.
Beaten West Ham, Wolves, and Leicester City.
I'm fancying myself in that Conference League, to be honest. It is a bunch of farmers. So if I'm not winning that, then you've got to be looking at me as a manager, aren't you?
I don't know, mate. St Mirren, Banneker Strava, and Shamrock Rovers.
Well, I didn't know St Mirren was in it. I didn't know they was in it.
Yeah, that's going to cause you some trouble there. Dad, your fixtures at the start of the season. You got a draw at Everton. Away to Everton.
With that one, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, good win at Brighton. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And that's just stuff Fulham. So.
Well, I will say you haven't conceded a goal yet.
Yeah, so my defence. I mean, I know I've got a good defence anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that at the moment. I'm a bit disappointed I didn't score against Everton, but. All right, I'll take that.
Yeah.
2 good wins.
What I've noticed as well is a lot of us are playing a tricky game next. Like, you've got Man City in the upcoming game. I think both the other lads had a tricky fixture.
I've got Liverpool.
Yeah, I've got Newcastle away.
So there we go. There's some more games coming up. Now, my schedule, I'm actually top of the league. I've had a very easy start, and my next 2 fixtures aren't too bad either. I don't think I'll play a really difficult team until the end of October, where I have Liverpool, Man United, and Chelsea all in 3 games in a row.
That's when your season falls off a cliff then.
I'm going to get a bit of false sense of security because I've got Southampton 4-0, Leicester 1-0, which is not great really, and Wolves 5-0. So I haven't conceded a goal. It does sit me top of the league at the minute, but again, I haven't played anybody who I think should be a bit of a challenge. So it's going to be quite interesting at the start of the season. As I mentioned, the points is going to change ever so slightly because what we wanted to do was introduce the points to have whoever finishes highest out of the 4 of us, and that counts whether we win the league or not. Whoever does finish highest gets 3 points, second gets 2, third place gets 1, and if you finish 4th out of 4, you don't get any points because why would we reward you for finishing last? Doesn't make sense. Now, Champions League is 10 points. We've got the Europa Conference League and the Europa League itself, which is 5 points, but we've bumped up the Premier League because a lot of people always complain, Dad, as you know in the comments, why did you get more points winning Europa League instead of the Premier League? That makes no sense. So we listened to you here. We're giving more points for the Premier League on this occasion. The domestic cups, so they stay the same, 3 points a pop. But if you knock somebody out of that, you get a point for winning it, because we get points for beating each other, as well as a point for knocking them out. Doesn't count in finals, but you get the win, obviously, for beating them in the final. I think I've covered all the points.
I think you have.
Let's get season number 1 underway and see what happens.
Good luck, lads.
Well, season number 1
Get on,
is
you Spurs!
unbelievable for Dad, but you have to scroll
Come on.
very far down the page to see Robbo's
Has he still got a job? Has he still got a job?
Down where?
It's an overachievement.
To be fair, I would take 12 for this point for Man United.
Exactly.
You're right.
You threw me in the United team. No Mainu, no Martinez, Rashford out on loan. And I've overachieved by finishing second in the bottom half. I've had a great season.
I agree. I mean, look at those wins as well. 12 wins. That's some achievement.
Scoring loads of goals as well. Only a -8 goal
Unbelievable.
difference.
That might be a bigger achievement than Dad winning with Spurs.
No, I think it is.
Come on.
What was it with Hoyland? 27
Hey,
goals in one season.
If you look where Spurs are at this present moment, I'm down with United as well, aren't I? So that's an overachievement. I got Manager of the Year for this.
Yeah, that is absolutely outstanding. Let's have a deeper look into it. Now, Dad, you lost 5 games across the season. Arsenal was one of the games, so I do pick up a point for that. Of course, you get your 3 points plus winning the actual league, so that's straight off the bat, you get 9. But Liverpool finished in second place, just a point behind you. So done very well to keep them off. They actually drew at the end of the
last
season.
game, so
Yeah, and you beat them at 1.2 towards the end of the season. Arsenal, which is my team, down in third. By the looks of it, a loss to both Chelsea and Manchester United. So both you pick up points there, Aaron and Robbo,
Yeah,
but Dad doesn't get any points there. That's because I drew against him as well. So I was unbeaten against Dad. The 8 games that Chelsea lost, 1 was against Tottenham, 1 was against Arsenal, 5-0, 3-0. And Man United, I mean, there's 15 losses. We're not going to see all of them by the looks of it, but
7-0.
There's no need to throw that in there, by the way. We're not going to see all of them. That's crazy.
I think you can only see 10 of them.
We could probably see all his wins, though.
I should get an extra point for that.
Onto the profile of the league. The top scorer was actually Vlahovic with 33 goals. You got Erling Haaland in there, and Nkunku, Isak, and Hoyland with 19.
Get
Ooh,
in.
that's good. He's achieved what he wanted.
There we go.
Overachievement.
We've actually all got a player in that goal scoring player statistics, so that's not too bad either. Average rating is kind of dominated by the North London clubs in our situation.
What a signing for a goalkeeper there.
Yeah, Rashford's also there, so you'll be getting him back next season, Robbo, so that's an extra body.
Be useful.
David Reyes there with only 1 behind, so that's not too bad. Assist-wise, Bukayo Saka with 15, Cole Palmer with 13. So
United was
very
top
good.
of average attendance, though, so at least there was a lot of people watching the show.
Hey, look, I bring entertainment back to Old Trafford. That's all it was about, getting the fans on board.
Cracking. Now, if I'm just having a brief look at the past positions just to see how it played out. By the looks of it, when I dropped off, I fell down to 3rd, and then it was me and Aaron just battling it out for ages between 3rd and 4th and
scrap.
4th and 5th. Literally, 2nd and 3rd and 3rd and 4th, actually. And Dad and Liverpool just kind of had their own little battle at the top. And then there was Robbo down in mid-table.
Mate, I was
fighting his
second
own
in the bottom
battles.
half. I was the second in bottom half for weeks and weeks, and then just fell off at the end. It's
Could
unlucky.
have been runners-up. Right, let's have a look at the competitions. Now remember, if you get knocked out by one of us, then it's another point to that person, as well as if they beat you in that. So if it's on penalties, you don't, but if they beat you, it's another point as well. We're having a look at Arsenal's competitions, and I didn't win anything, but I'm very disappointed to see I was 1 knocked out by Tottenham Hotspur in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, and I was also eliminated by Celtic in the Champions League, which is quite poor.
It's a rough one, that.
I'll take Southampton knocking me out in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup, because that doesn't give you guys any points. That's great. I won't click on the quarterfinal.
Definitely in the semi-final.
Yes, you're in the semi. Now, we'll go over to Dad's competition page and see if he's won anything else. And it is a no. However, there's a Carabao Cup runners-up position there. Somebody else has won it. There's also Chelsea in the FA Cup final, because, Aaron, your Chelsea side is knocked out of the FA Cup.
Getting back for that 5-0 loss in the league.
That's it, yeah. Which one would you rather have won?
I'll take
That's
the one that gives
question.
me a point, to be honest, knocking him out the cup.
Exactly. Yeah. Right, let's have a look at the runners-up, because it could tell us the winner at the same time. It was not. It was Manchester City. So nobody out of us lot has won the Carabao Cup. But this is what makes this four-way rebuild quite fun, is there's Man City and Liverpool. That's going to cause us a lot of trouble, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, let's have a look at your competition page and see if you've won anything else.
The Tin Pot European Cup. I'll take it.
Yeah. It's really unlucky. You are actually really close with a treble, because the semi-final against Manchester City as well. FA Cup runners-up.
1-0 loss against Liverpool in the FA Cup final.
And then we got the Europa Conference League. We thought you should win it. You took Applewell to extra time and managed to pinch a winner.
And then, you know that Carabao Cup as well? I only lost in the semi-final on penalties in that one. So it was very nearly me and Dad in the final of that. I'm just going to call you Dad as well. Is that all right? I can't...
Yeah, that's fine with me, Aaron. I've been called worse.
But yeah, it's not a bad season. Not a bad season. I'll take that. There's a lot of positives to take there to build on.
Yeah, you get some points for beating people, but you also get that 5 crucial points for the Europa Conference League.
Yeah, that's it.
You almost had an extra 3 for the FA Cup. But
almost.
Hey, you got elimination points. That's good. Robbo, can you salvage this season with anything, mate?
I was knocked out by Sporting Club de Portugal, in the Europa League. They gave Man United Ronaldo and Bruno, so I'm just giving something back to them.
And Amorim.
Ruben Robberim this time in 12th, but knocked out in the 4th round by Fulham as well in the FA Cup. That is just, that's dismal. And then in the Carabao, already knocked out by Chelsea in the quarter.
2 extra points for Aaron there. So, Aaron, you actually picked up quite a few points here.
It's not worked out a bad season, really.
Winning the titles. Yeah. Which is going to be quite interesting when we have a look at the points. Now, we won't go over player statistics too much, because I don't think there's a lot really. It will be here forever. But Rasmus Højlund was Manchester United's top scorer. We have 38 goals for Dusan Vlahovic, which is great. For the Spurs side, the champions of England, Alexander Isak. What a signing, Dad. You were right. 36 goals
Good
there.
striker and a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, and for the Chelsea side, 40 goals from Christopher Nkunku.
10 assists, 50 goal involvements from Nkunku there. I'm happy with that.
Transfer budgets for next season, £60 million for Aaron, but you've got a bit of a wage budget issue. And of course, you've got about 50 players coming back from loan.
Yeah, I have.
Arsenal's got £72 million with a big wage budget. Dad, you've got £56 million with a nice little wage budget. Can Robbo salvage season 2? Well, he's got £81 million with a bit of wage budget minus as well.
It can't go much worse, can it? Let's be honest. I mean, if it got much worse, I think we'd be in the job centre, wouldn't we? So, let's have a clean slate next year.
Right, well, that's season 1 done. Let's have a quick look at the points. Season 1 points then is Omega Luke with 5, Dad with 13, Aaron with 12, and Robbo with 1. Right, season number 2 then, Dad. We'll start with you as the leader of this. Yeah. Only just by a point, though. It's quite surprising.
How did Aaron get that close to me? We're not winning anything.
We did say all those little cup wins, they do add up, and that's why we got the points tally there. £179 million on the outs, with £103 million being Heung-min Son.
They come for they kept on sort of coming for a deal, and when they come for 100 odd million, I thought I ain't turning that down for a 32-year-old. Why would I do that?
Because you replaced him quite well, and for half the price almost for Rafael Leao.
Yeah, another good sort of striker that can play left wing as well. So I got him in.
Nice.
But I think the other two signings, I think, are better signings. Really, 2 really good midfielders. One an attacking midfielder.
Yeah,
this guy's always good at having your team, and
he's mustard, and he only gets better as well.
Yeah, so I felt I've improved my sort of attacking formation really. So.
Yeah. Well, you say formation. Is that because you've changed tactic?
No.
In a way, no.
No.
I think a couple of roles look like they might be different, but I don't think you have. Now, sticking with obviously the tactic that maybe won you the league with a few slight little tweaks. There's actually there's more signings. I'm sorry, we've missed a transfer from you as well, because you also got Victor Gyökeres.
Yes.
So there's actually 2 great strikers.
I've just got another striker in, because sort of what I'm like further down the line. If I don't start performing, I'll change my formation, and I do like to go. Yeah, to
what? It's like Voldemort on this. You can't mention him until like the 3rd season.
I've got some good strikers in now, so I'm sort of happy with that sort of formation now. Madison's the one that sort of drops out on that, but
and Alexander Isak, who was the top scorer your side last year.
Well,
He's dropped down to the bench.
I'll let them fight it out, but I don't think Maddison will get into the team in that sort of attacking midfield area.
Right, okay. Over to Arsenal then. My transfer budget was obviously quite good as well, but I also sold £87 million worth of players there and 148 there. So a couple of... Actually, I don't think any was on that year. But yeah, it was, because the £53 million was Thomas Partey and Kai Havertz, 34 and 53. Then there was another 148 because Gabriel Jesus left for £77 million, which was the main crux of that, was Zinchenko going as well. I think I've replaced him quite well because I think what was missing in this side was a really good left back and a better goalkeeper, and I did that straight away. That was my two priorities. Gregor Cabal from Dortmund there, and Nuno Mendes. I very rarely sign Nuno Mendes, but I always have a look and see if he's available. And this season he was for £95 million. But another £253 million came in. We got Warren Zaire-Emery from PSG for he's only 18, but stupid good player for £60 million. Antonio Silva, or Tony Smith as you call him, Dad.
One of my favourites, yeah.
Tony Smith comes in from Benfica, £52 million. Vanderson at right back, £64 million. And Leroy Sané, giving Leroy Sané another opportunity in the Premier League for £77 million. Now, tactically, I've tweaked it ever so slightly, and I've changed from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-4-3 or 4-3-3. Zaire-Emery locking him into that centre midfield on attack. Tony Silva or Tony Smith locking him into that left-sided centre back. Right, boys. Aaron, let's go to you first, mate.
Right, so I have took a little bit of inspiration from Dad there winning the league, and I've brought in a goalkeeper as well. I've brought in James Trafford, ex-Bolton Wanderers player. I'm not that happy with what's the other guy called, Sanchez, the goalie at Chelsea. He just doesn't really impress me. So I've gone for Trafford. He's big. He's 6'6". I think there's a lot of growth in him over the next 4 years. So he's going to be my goalie now for the rest of the rebuild. And I've also brought in Diamande for £64 million. Now, I hope the FFP people are not watching because there's been a few installments here. But you've got to do what you've got to do. I'm hoping to get a bit of success this season, and that's how we'll pay the installments part. But he's a quality centre half. Improve the spine of the team. We've got the goals up front. The wing backs are getting the assists. That's what I want to do. Get the spine sorted. But we did sell a lot as well. 160 million went out. I had a big sale. Brozier, Chalobah, Chilwell, Jorgensen, Mudryk. I've been shifting out as many as I can. And you can see there that I've brought another couple of centre midfielders in. Schuameni, 150 mil, and Xavi Simmons for 78 mil. So I really do want to get that spine of the team solid, get them playing, and everything else will click into place. Tactically, nothing's changed. I've gone exactly the same, but it's just the personnel. A couple of role changes, but yeah, it's just the personnel that's changed. Trafford is going to be locked in the net just in case it tries putting that other goalie in. And Neto, I'm sticking with Neto there. And obviously when I pick my best 11, that's the way it's going to look. But obviously, Neto's going to be in there. I'm not having Raheem Sterling in. And Nkunku's taken...
Hey, he's an England international. He's class.
And Nkunku's taken the place there of Cole Palmer. And it's put Nicholas Jackson up there. But you know what? I'm going to leave it. I'm going to trust it. And we're going to see what happens.
Okay, over to Robbo, who's probably had the most to do this summer.
I mean, there was no relaxing this summer. There was no pina colada. It was complete and utter stress. Now, the first thing that I needed to do was weed out some of the weeds within my club. Now, this is the first season in real life, actually, I've owned a United season ticket. And on FM, I will not stand watching Diogo Dalot hit the front post off another cross. So he got sold to Al Ain for 26 million. That was the only major sale. Xerxes went to Villa as well. I think Xerxes actually is quite a decent player. But just on the game, he isn't the type of player that I don't think really works in the match engine. So decided to shift him. When I can see he's got 2 goals in 4 in the Premier League already. So that seems like a great sale. Anyway, first transfer in. So what I did this summer, I was looking for a bit more physicality in my team. I think my team just lacked a little bit of power. So the first signing I brought in was Kefren Turam. I think he's an amazing defensive midfielder on this game. His physicals are immense. He's 6'4". He's got a great trait and gets into opposition area. So I'm hoping he chips in with some goals over the season. We also brought in Skamaka from Atalanta. Now, When he played at West Ham, I thought he was just playing in a rubbish team. I think he is actually a really good striker. He's 6'5", good jumping reach, good finishing, good off the ball, both-footed. I think he's going to chip in with a few goals this season. We've also signed Geller at right back, of course. We got rid of that wee Dallo, so we've brought in Geller at right back, someone who can play on both sides as well. So I'm hoping to keep him for the rest of the rebuild so he can just be back up for both sides, because on the right-hand side, I have replaced Dallo with the best right back on FM24, Michael Coyote. The guy is a monster. Physically, tackling, getting forward, everything, lots of potential. I'm hoping he's going to be here for the rest of the rebuild. And now it's probably no shock, I have changed tactic. I have done the first Tinkerman of the rebuild. It is a pleasure. We have also got as well, sorry, I forgot to mention this signing, Asensio on loan. Now, my reason why I got Asensio on loan, I've seen that him and Rashford get on in real life. Now, I'm bringing real-life football into Football Manager. I've made that observation as God's gift of Football Manager. I'm going to get Asensio to get Rashford enjoying his football at Manchester United again. I think them two are going to link up this season and cause problems. It's a 4-2-3-1. It's an offset right winger. Asensio locked in as that advanced playmaker. Fernandes in the shadow striker. I think this is going to be a much better season.
Well, that wouldn't be hard, but let's see.
No, I think the Ruben Robbery, what I was doing, I was letting my own creative genius hiding behind Ruben Amorim, and now Robbo Ball is in true effect.
That's right. You're becoming a bit of an imitation instead of
exactly.
I agree. Well, start of the season, you lost to Bournemouth. However, you did absolutely smash Dad 4-0. The champions at Old Trafford as well.
Yeah, I did. That was me. Yep.
But then lost to Chelsea.
It's not an easy place to go, Stamford Bridge, you know.
It's clear I might have a little bit of a bogey team in Aaron. Obviously, I know how Aaron plays his football, tall, physical players, getting balls into the box. It's an uncomfortable team to play against, but yeah, I'm just happy to beat the league leaders 4-0 in a game that I absolutely dominated and destroyed him in.
Aaron, if you have a look at your schedule, we know one of the results already. You have also played Dad as well, where Dad beat you with 10 men as well.
I think he might be my bogey team, you know.
Yeah,
there's a lot of bogey teams popping up here.
There is, which is the only game you actually conceded a goal in, because you beat Palace and Bournemouth as well.
It's that spine that I've sorted out, my goalkeeper, my defender.
You've got to face Dad in the Champions League, so there's another point up for grabs in the Champions League phase.
I'm sick of the sight of him already, to be honest.
Yeah. The worst thing is obviously last season where you won the Europa Conference League. That gives you automatic qualification for the Europa League. Probably would have been a better option.
I think I'd have preferred the Europa League, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a better chance of winning 5 points rather than the 10. Yeah. But there we go. If we have a look at Dad's fixtures, we've seen a couple of them already. He did start the season with an 11-1 win before losing 4-0.
That's how the champions start the league, isn't it? 11-1, come on.
11-1 against Brentford, and they only scored in the 94th minute. It was going to be an 11-0 from 84 minutes, but then losing 4-0, and then of course, beating Chelsea and beating Leicester. Finally, the Arsenal. We are first in the Premier League once again, but we know how much that can change, and that's again because I haven't really played any of the top 6, if you would be. Started with a nice little win against West Ham. Ended with an away win to Brighton with a nice little 3-0.
Only conceded 1 goal this time.
Only conceded 1. So with Leeds, who have just got promoted. So Coventry's come up as well. I just noticed they're in the Premier League. So
have they got Lampard?
An interesting one. Yeah, I wonder if they have. I wonder if they still got Frank Lamps. It is. So well done, Frankie Lamps. Manages to get. I've got them in the cup.
You just know he's going to come to Stamford Bridge and turn me over.
100%. Yeah, 100%. All right, season number 2 then. Let's get it underway. There's already been some drama at the start of the season. Will it continue that way? So, season number 2 then, and it's Arsenal who have won the Premier League. Much better performance from Robbo's Manchester United.
Yeah.
Salvage a 4th place there, some Champions League football next season.
We are so bad.
3rd place. We've got 3rd place Tottenham Hotspur, but Chelsea this time trailing down in
You know what,
7th.
we did just briefly touch on the Europa League, and I think it's a competition for me, so I'd like to get myself in there next season. That's why I've done it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we know you haven't won the Champions League off the back of that because you got qualification for Europa League.
Yep.
Let's have a look at the losses, starting with Arsenal. Lost 4 times, 1 against Robbo, 1 against Aaron there. Still haven't lost to Dad. Get in. Dad finished in 3rd place with 8 losses. Both Arsenal fixtures and a 4-0 trip to Old Trafford, which of course we see at the start of the season. 7th place Chelsea with 10 losses. We got 2 from Tottenham Hotspur.
I can't do it against Dad, you know.
Right, let's have a quick look at the past positions throughout. So it looks like I was first and second all the way through with Dad until he dropped off. Yeah, Robbo quite consistent there in the 4th to 6th range, whilst Aaron dropped off from an early 3rd place, kind of battling out where you were towards the end of the season. Profile of the league, 32 goals each from Vlahovic and Rafael Leao. So the golden boot goes to Vlahovic based on minutes, I think. Rasmus Højlund, though, another 20 goals.
I'm telling you, I'm doing miracle work. This is something that's going under the radar a little bit.
You can't do a rebuild unless there's a down part at the start. So there we go.
Exactly.
Rafael Leao is the highest average rating, but we've got Marcus Rashford's up there now in a Manchester United shirt instead of a Villa one. Player of the match, Rafael Leao got joint 8 with Salah. Clean sheets, we got Onana and Cabell there, both with 15. But Bruno Fernandes leads the line for the assists, 22 this season.
Yeah.
Which is quite extraordinary.
Just want to comment on that quickly as well. Anyone who thinks Bruno Fernandes is not a better player than Martin Odegaard, look at that first and second there.
Get in the bin.
Let that tell you a story.
What? I don't know what Nkunku was doing. What was Nkunku? How many did he get last season, did we say? Goal involvements? Was it 40?
50 across the
Yeah, he's got 17 this season, so I need to have a chat with him in the summer.
Let's have a look at competitions then. For Arsenal, kicking things off, do I win anything else other than the Premier League? No.
Yes.
And a quarter-final exit thanks to Chelsea.
Yes.
But we'll take a look at that in a minute. Dad, competitions page, and it is no trophies again. But also,
at least no one knocked me out of anything. That's a good
nobody
thing.
knocking you out.
Yes.
And of course, the Community Shield, which does count as a point, but
Liverpool.
not as a competition, was against Liverpool, so that's not one of us either. We will obviously check the Champions League fixture between you and Aaron, though, which got played. But Aaron, on your competitions page, we've got another win.
A lovely cup there. Lovely. The FA Cup, I'll take that one. Missed out on it by 1 goal last season, so it's nice to lift it this season.
A nice little 4-3 win against Aston Villa. But none of us are really losing against each other because the Carabao Cup, you were knocked out by Swansea. And in the Champions League phase.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, though, I think I prefer that Europa League. You know, I'm not a big fan of that Champions League. Not a big fan of that one.
26th place, and if we're looking at Dad's fixtures, he lost to Rennes, by the way. The dirty, scummy rats. They get their way into everything.
They know I always look after them.
minus points.
Yeah, that should be minus 20 right there. You did beat Chelsea 4-2 in the Champions League.
Of course he did.
They beat Real
Of course he
Madrid.
did.
Extra point. So that's 3 victories over Chelsea this season.
in.
I won 6 fixtures, beat Man City at one point. The only game I did lose was to Barcelona. But finally, Robbo, have you got yourself your first trophy?
Yes, I have. Hallelujah. And this is when I said, God gift at Football Manager, Ruben Robberim. Now the evidence is here. I have won the biggest competition in England in the Carabao Cup.
Newcastle fans would agree with you there.
Yeah.
And a 6-0 win against Leeds United as well.
Over your rivals as well. I mean, can you imagine what that day at Wembley was like for the fans? And that is what I'm thinking about in this rebuild, the fans. I also want to touch on the semi-final, also beating Liverpool 5-0. 5-0.
That is good.
How did you get on in the FA Cup?
You knocked me out in the FA Cup. We didn't participate in that one this season. We thought we'd just leave it. I just fancied the Carabao.
Exit.
Yeah, to Chelsea again. Honestly, Aaron is my bogey in this rebuild. I need to figure out, I need to tinker when we do that game or something.
That 4th round's quite hilarious because I got taken to a replay by Championship team Sheffield Wednesday and then stuffed them 8-0 in the replay. Quite a funny season, to be honest. Obviously, Chelsea beat Arsenal 3-2 in the FA Cup there on their route in the quarterfinals to be winners against Villa. So we've all won something there other than Dad, unfortunately for you, Dad. Yes. But you did get yourself Premier League title at the start there. But 26 goals, Rasmus Højlund was top scorer for Robbo. However, 25 for Bruno Fernandes. He played a few games more, but from that shadow striker role, exceptional.
It's such a great role in FM. We all know this by now, but it's just Bruno Fernandes. It's what he does. He's the heartbeat of the team. Someone who's going to be here for the full rebuild. I absolutely love him. I wanted to comment as well, just quickly, on Marcus Rashford as well. 35 goal contributions. I'm telling you, Asensio this season, they were going out for paella. They were doing all these sort of things. He's clearly got in his ear and he's loving his football at United again. Love it.
Well, are you going to keep Asensio? That's the thing. He's only on loan.
We'll see.
Might have to bring him back.
I'll tell you what,
Might
Wolves
have to
have
bring
done
him
well
back.
as well. Wolves have won that Conference League there as well. Finished 15th in the league, but they've won the
Yeah, because
Conference
they
League.
got qualification
That's
for
mental.
Europa
Yeah.
League. So transfer budget for Robbo, you got £40 million next season.
Yeah.
It's not that much.
Not
but
great,
we know
no.
they do struggle at the start.
Yeah.
Goals for Aaron, we've got 19 for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, slightly less than last season.
Yeah, I don't know what they were
because
doing.
Nkunku's dropped off massively
Yes.
there. Transfer budget though, £37 million.
I can make that stretch. Don't worry about me. I'll find someone. Might be on the catalogue again. On the never again.
You've also got so many players in your squad as well.
Yeah,
so
there's
because
gonna
of
be
the amount of
some
loans.
departures.
So-
There has to be.
Dad, you've got 34 goals from Rafael Leao, new signing.
Good
Gyökeres
signing,
also
yeah.
got 19. Not
Yep.
too bad. Transfer budget, £87 million.
Really pleased with that.
Yeah, that'll bring at least 2 goalkeepers and 2 strikers. Then for the Arsenal, we've got 37 goals from Vlahovic. Saka's had another good year as well. Transfer budget is £60 million for the champions. But Season 2, let's look at the points and see how much things have changed. Season 2 points are Omega Luke with 13, Dad with 6, Aaron with 8, and Robbo with 6. Meaning the total points after 2 seasons are Omega Luke with 18, Dad with 19, Aaron with 20, and Robbo with 7. Alright then, kicking things off, season number 3. The points is close at the top. Robbo's got his first 7 points though. Let's have a look at the transfer for Arsenal at the start of the season after winning the Premier League, because we got a big one. Bukayo Saka has left to go to PSG for £185 million. Now, I wouldn't have done this if I didn't have a backup plan. And that is because my backup plan was that I seen Vinicius Jr. would be open to the move. And I pulled the trigger on that. So my reasoning for it is I'm thinking Vinicius Jr. can also play up front. And if I need more strikers, well, I think that's a better option than having Bukayo Saka, who can only just play from both of the wings. So, I don't know. Very similar type of players, but Vinicius Jr. cost me somewhat more. I've also brought in Giovanni Di Lorenzo, fairly good right back, who's 32 now. Well, he was transfer listed at Manchester City, who Pep Guardiola, by the way, lost his job at the end of the season. Aaron pointed out to me. So there we go. We've made that happen as a collective, I think. We've made that happen.
So happy.
That's it. Crying now. Reece Nelson has left for £29 million. I also bought in Geertruida from Leipzig, who just fills so many roles at the back. I thought I'd get that one over the line too. Tactically, keeping it exactly as it was last season. Locking in Tony Smith again, because when I don't do that, it puts in Gabriel, and I prefer Tony Smith in that role. But we won the league last year. Let's see what it can do this year. Over to Dad. Let's have a look at your transfers at the start of the season. £216 million, because there was a couple that went over, including Bentancur for 37. We've also got, I think Richarlison was last season.
Yeah.
There's a couple there, but Højbjerg, Brian Gill's gone. You didn't bring in that many compared to last year. Just the one signing of Manu Kone.
Yeah, just replacing the midfield player that I just lost. So yeah, he's a solid midfielder. I'm quite pleased with that. So yeah,
him and Thuram are two of the players that I always think just serve one of those like transfer roles where you can play them in either of the centre midfield or defence midfield, and you just put them in any role and they're good.
I mean, like Aaron said earlier, you sort of your spine of your team, and you should be all right to go then.
Yeah,
and that's what I think I've done: keeper, midfielder, and a striker.
Yeah, well, tactically, you have changed it. We've come away. Yeah, well, it's took to third season.
I'm surprised.
A little bit now, so I'm just starting to tinker now. So yeah,
so there we go.
I've gone for a bit more stronger in midfield. I felt one up front. So yeah, I've tried the opposite of what I normally do. I normally go 3 up front. I've gone 1 up front.
Yeah. Okay.
I lost the total by conceded too many goals last season, so I want to be a bit more stronger. So I've dropped into the midfield, and hopefully this will do it for this season.
All right, well, we're going to switch to Aaron next, but just in case you didn't know, Aaron's actually coming down to Plymouth soon, and we're going to record a video on his channel where I take Aaron Hunt to a wrestling ring. So that's going to be really fun. That's also going to be out roughly when this comes out.
It could be a bit sore, I don't know, but yeah, I'm trusting you, mate. I'm trusting you.
That's because Aaron's coming down to watch the next TCW show, which I'm always telling you guys to do. But of course, he's coming down as well, and we're going to record some content. So make sure you check that one out on that channel as well. And I'll leave Robbo's channel there because he's doing some fantastic. I mean, you've only been doing content for a few months, Robbo, because I think you messaged me. We like jumped in the call just before Christmas, and you've been absolutely smashing it, mate. So
he's first on onto the scene.
Yeah. Well done. Keep all that up, boys. But let's have a look at Aaron's transfers.
So my transfers actually look blank for this season because it's done that thing where it's put it as last season because I got my business wrapped up nice and early. I was on holiday by July. I needed it after last season. So I have brought in a striker, right? Dovbyk. Is that how you say it? Dovbyk, yeah. Because when me and Robbo did a save, if any of you watched the Twitch streams, he battered me with Dovbyk. What was it? Did he get a hat-trick against me, Robbo?
What a Judas.
Yeah.
As if he went to you.
Yeah, he did. I had to get him after what you did to me with that man. I had sleepless nights over him. So I've brought him in to play for me now. I thought, with the goals dropping off Calvert-Lewin and Nkunku, I need someone who's going to put the ball in the back of the net. And this lad, he's 6'2". He's got 16 heading. He's just what I want. Jumping reach is nice. He's going to work hard. Centre-back again. To go at the back with Diamande, I brought in Scalvina. Is that how you say that one as well? I'm not the best with these names. I'm a bit like Paul Merson.
Oh, mate, you spoke that like a true Italian.
Did I? Yeah, but anyway, ball-playing defender, he's there to come in. And I've also brought in the GOAT to the Premier League. Lionel Messi, 38 years old. But I always say, if you're old enough, you're good enough. So, look at Dad. He's still doing a job at his age, isn't he? So, I think we'll get some. There's plenty left in Messi yet. But I've spent quite a lot of cash. You know the way that I spend my money. I beg, steal and borrow from next season's budget. So I'll probably not get much at the end of the season. But I'm going to win the league this season anyway. So that'll pay me plenty of cash, and the board will reward me by giving me some. I've gone to a bog standard 4-2-2 sort of box midfield now, locking in Messi because I want him playing as much football as possible. It's probably going to kill him playing that many games at his age, but I'll bring him in. I trust him. When I pick me best 11, let's just have a quick look at that. There you go. So he's going to drop out of it. Palmer's going to drop out for Messi. And that's going to be the team. Dovbyk and Calvert-Lewin up front, two big lads. The physicality there. Messi and Nkunku, Tchouaméni and Caicedo. Look at the state of that, boys. I don't see how that doesn't win something this season.
We'll see. Robbo, let's have a look at your transfers, mate.
Well, first off, again, on the outs, like I said last season with Weeds in the club, we actually managed to get Casemiro over to Saudi Arabia for 36 million. Now, Casemiro was on about 10 million a week, so that actually gave me about 40 million transfer budget by just getting rid of him. A few other lads went out on loan as well. Sancho, Ahmad, Lenny Yoro, just getting them game time. I tried to sell Sancho, but no club would take him. No idea why, probably his work ethic. But yeah, Jadon wouldn't leave the club, so I loaned him out. Bringing the first player in, though, was Marco Carnesci. Now, people say that I look like Marco Carnesci, but I am very offended because I am miles better looking. But football ability-wise, he is unbelievable on the game. Reflexes, one-on-ones, command of area, 6'3". I love using him on the game, and also very consistent, relishes the big matches, the type of player we need at Manchester United. The second signing was Melvin Bard for £40 million, a very offensive fullback. He's got 17 crossing. That is unbelievable, giving me Dennis Irwin vibes. He's going to be bombing up that left-hand side. And they were the only two signings that I actually made in the end. We didn't really need to bring anyone else in. I'm quite happy with the squad now. Like you boys who watch these real builds, you know, once you've got a bulk of a squad together, you make 1 or 2 signings a season just to improve specific positions and hope you can move up the table. And the tactic, I'm keeping it exactly the same. I mean, getting UCL football with Man United after 2 years is nothing short of a miracle. So there's no way I was changing. Thuram's still locked in. Fernandes is in that cam position. Coyote and Delit locked in on the right side of defence, and I'm feeling very confident now. I feel like I've actually got my own squad now. I've had my own, I've had my effect on the team. I think we're gonna have a really great season in this third season. I'm looking at a Premier League. Laughing.
Big statement that is.
Well, you started off the season really well because you won 9-0.
Yep, 9-0
against Ipswich Town.
Yep.
But then unfortunately, you lost to Dad.
95th minute. I love a late goal. Love a late goal.
Like I said earlier on, I only beat world-class teams. Losing to Spurs, drawing to Liverpool.
God almighty.
But I battered Ipswich 9-0, so I think we'll be all right.
You've actually got Aaron next at Stamford Bridge as well.
Oh, you don't like that. You don't like coming to Stamford Bridge. It's not a nice place to go.
Honestly, if Dovbyk scores, I'm getting on the pitch. If he scores in that game,
you know what? It's classic, like Big Sam Bolton at the Reebok. That's what I'm trying to bring to Stamford Bridge. Make it horrible, long ball, make it ugly. Big striker, big centre halves.
Bring in JJ Kocher.
Mate, if he was available, I might get him as a coach, actually.
Let's have a look at your games, Aaron, because you started off the season really well. You've actually picked up a point as well because you beat me in the Community Shield. Of course, FA Cup winner versus Premier League winner, and you defeated me 4-2.
Nice day out at Wembley,
you drew the first game of the season to Forest, but 2 good wins after.
Yeah, good wins there, Palace and Leicester. But those are the kind of games where you can slip up, so I'm just glad to... 3-0 and 4-0 as well, so I've battered them. And Messi has started his Chelsea career. He scored a goal there at home against Crystal Palace. The GOAT is he's off the mark.
You've also got a fixture against Dad in the EFL third round, so somebody's getting knocked down.
So that's me. That's me out of the cup nice and early.
See you later.
Yeah, and of course you're in the Europa League too, so there's a chance that you could be picking up a nice 5 points should you manage to do that. And if we're looking at the Europa League, you are definitely got to be favourites. I mean, Newcastle's in there as well. You've got Lazio and Porto, who are quite good on the game and hard to beat, but I still fancy your chances.
I fancy it. This is why I did that last season. This is why I finished 6th or 7th, whatever it was, because I wanted to go in that Europa League.
Tactical thinking, I like it. Thinking outside the box, that's what will win you a rebuild. Schedule for Dad, though. We knew about the Manchester United win. You also stuffed Ipswich, so it makes me worried for Ipswich's season.
You got to go out. You got to beat these world-class teams, didn't you?
Exactly, Dad. Exactly. Bang on.
You've obviously got a nice couple of wins there, which actually still keeps you in second. And that is because for the third season in a row, we're starting off September with Arsenal at the top of the league. And for the third season in a row, I haven't played anybody big. I mean, Brighton at this point, we've whipped them so many times, I don't really consider them a big club. And Newcastle, if I'm going to St. James's Park and beating them 6-1, I don't really class them as a big side anymore. Did defeat Sheffield United, and Vinicius Jr. has been scoring some goals as well. He's got himself a nice little hat-trick there. So we started off the season very well. But will I be winning season number 3's Premier League, or will these boys cause a bit of an upset? Of course, there's still Manchester City. There's still Liverpool knocking around. Maybe they will cause an upset. Let's find out. Alright, season 3, and it's Liverpool who are champions.
Well, they have been knocking on the door, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been there or thereabouts, I think, the last 3 seasons. 87 points. Arsenal are second, so I do get the 3 points, of course, for finishing highest. But then it's Chelsea, Spurs, followed by Manchester United, only in 7th. It isn't too bad compared to season number 1, Robbo.
Listen to Aaron's masterclass about going into that Europa League. I just took complete inspiration, and I have purposely finished 7th, just like Aaron did.
It makes sense. The tactics there. The past positions then, was it close at the start of it? Well, throughout the season, it does seem like I was winning for the majority of it. And chucked it away a little bit, yeah. Chelsea and Spurs. Oh, you actually, to be fair, Aaron, you were close at some points as well.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit there.
Yeah.
I say Aaron was doing well until the end part of the season. He
I fell right off at the end of the season.
Yeah, and to be fair, Dad, you and Manchester United were having a little scrap for 5th and 6th for a while.
Ipswich managed to stay up after we was worried about them.
That is mental, by the way. And their goal difference of minus 38.
Yeah. How have
with
they done
38
that?
points.
That's got to be one of the lowest
crazy
goal differences to ever survive with, surely.
Sheffield United didn't even win a game.
Minus 76. No. Oh my god. What was the
0 wins, 9 draws.
Wow.
The drew against Dad. The
Drew against Dad. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Minus points. Come on.
That's typical Spurs, that is, isn't it?
It's typical Spurs. Erling Haaland was the golden boot winner with Vlahovic, Calvert-Lewin, Gyökeres and Højlund. So all 4 of our strikers were up there. He also topped the average rating. But Jose Sal from Wolves with the most clean sheets of 16. They finished down in 11th, but Cabell was there too. But Marcus Rashford with the most assists, 16. And he doesn't even have Asensio with him.
I know. I'm telling you, it was that year of team bonding. It's done absolute miracles for Marcus Rashford. He's loving life in a red shirt now.
All right, competitions page then for Arsenal. And it is almost, I mean, I'm 2 points and a game away from a quad. Like, that is...
Guys, lads, he nearly whipped us there.
Yeah, it's not looking good here, is it? Yeah.
Vinicius Jr. has arrived, let's put it that way. 6 points for the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Did I beat any of you boys in the final? It's Newcastle in the Carabao, and in the FA Cup, it's Fulham. So maybe I've knocked you out in earlier rounds, I don't know, but I won't click on the Champions League final just yet, just in case it's one of you boys. But let's have a look at Dad's Spurs.
Come on.
Competitions.
Oh, Real Madrid. Semi-final.
Semi-final. So we know I lost to Real Madrid in the final. Let's put it that way. But FA Cup semi-final, Dad. You lost to Arsenal. Unlucky.
Carabao
and then
Cup.
third round.
He knocked me out of the Carabao Cup.
Third round. Can we have a look at that? That's a nice little 2-1 win there for Aaron. So that's another point and for knocking you out. Semi-final lost to Arsenal. Extra time. But it was a 4-2 win at Wembley. There we go. Now, Aaron. we know, obviously, you probably haven't won a cup off the back of this, but you have won the Europa League.
What did I say about dropping into that Europa League? This is why Robbo's taking inspiration from me.
Yeah, it's a smart move.
We drop into it, we get it done.
Smart move.
You know what I'm worried about, though? I can't find Messi anywhere. I don't know where I don't know what he's done.
Lionel Messi is... looks like he's retired. He's not even...
You only signed him on a 6-month contract, didn't you?
No, how many
you can't
games
even
has he
search
played?
for him.
I don't know what's gone on here, because I've spent 10 million quid there. I've been shafted there.
Here we go. I've got it here. Messi, 8 appearances, 3 goals, and then retired. He played 8 games.
He must have had a career-ending
games,
injury.
he's gone.
When I said about locking him in, and I said, it'll probably kill him, I think it has. I finished him off.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not having this. Not having this at all. I'm done. That is hilarious. 8 games, 3 goals, disappears. He must have retired like September.
That's a shocker. I think Dovbit must have had an injury as well. He's only played 22. What's going on here?
I had a bad year, mate, because, well, you won the Europa League, which is great.
I'm
You
all
beat
right with
Red
that.
Bull Salzburg in the final. That's 5 points there. I knocked you out of the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
I actually beat you in both legs, plus eliminated you, which means that's 3 points for me there.
They add up these,
That
don't
alone.
they? They add up these
yeah,
points.
that's it. It's where it adds up.
That's
Not
half
only
my
do you get
points.
the 3 for that.
I did read though, Aaron, that he had won the Carabao Cup for you, Messi. So he achieved what he did. He wanted to come to England and win something. So that's what he done.
Yes, let's have a look at Manchester United and see. It was a knockout playoff round in the Champions League. 3rd round by Manchester City and quarter-final by Sunderland. Smart moves, mate. Smart moves. Don't get eliminated by us.
It is dark and dismal over here. It is. There's a heavy rain cloud over Manchester United at the moment. This is not how I planned everything to go. I thought last season, honestly, when we got into 3rd or 4th, it was. I thought, right, we're going to kick on from here now, keep the same tactic. But I can't even explain myself, to be honest. I'm just disappointed. I'm letting people down. God's gift.
Maybe you've got points in the Premier League. We haven't checked the wins and losses yet.
True.
So Arsenal, you beat me there 4-1.
Yes.
I also lost to Spurs 4-0. That was a dark day. Chelsea, 12 losses. Arsenal, both times there.
No.
I don't think I've lost against you yet. Then we got Tottenham's losses, beaten by Manchester United, Chelsea, and Arsenal.
I've beat Dad in the league. I've beat him in the league.
Yeah. And so far, I mean, there's 15 losses. We can only see the 10. One of them was against Chelsea. We'll double check to see the rest because I'm sure there's obviously wins and losses, but we'll go through before we do the points and make sure we get it all accurate. So 28 for Rasmus Højlund, not too bad again. He's actually putting in a shift for you, mate.
I think he's actually become my best player, which is hilarious. It's actually kind of impossible how it's happened. I mean, Rashford, only 6 goals from left wing in 48 games. He's missing Asensio. I think that's where I've gone wrong this season. Maybe I should have made that permanent. Yeah. Skamaka was okay, 13 off a few games off the bench. It's just dark and dismal. I think we just need to get out of here as quick as we can. Move on.
Well, you did get £106 million in the transfer budget. So
that is
there's
good.
a lot of money to spend. I'm wondering whether you had... Is there a takeover? There was a takeover.
Ooh.
Avram Glazer leaves, which would be the best day ever, by
Wait,
the way.
I think Manchester United fans at this point, actually, everything's a success up to this point, regardless of any results. That is
I would take
amazing.
this. Get the Glazers out, somebody else in. Happy days. Aaron, we'll look at your side, mate. We've got goals from Dominic Calvert-Lewin with 42 this season.
Yeah, he's done well.
Done really well. Dovbik, as you mentioned, did not play many games, but he got 15 in 22. If I'm looking at his histories, he had shin splints for 5 weeks, a pulled hamstring out for 10 days.
Yeah.
I don't know why he missed that many games.
The assistant manager's just been putting Jackson in.
Which is
I mean, he scored
shocking.
22
Dovbik's
goals,
way
but
better.
15 in half the amount of games there. Sometimes you just got to apply a bit of common sense on you. Might need a new assistant, you know.
I mean, Nkunku got 27 assists, so that's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's class.
Really
that's
good.
Class.
Reece James 21 as well. Your transfer budget, £92 million. Who said those installments are coming back to bite you, mate?
You know what I can do with £92 million. I can turn that into £500 million the way I
How
spend
has he done this? How has he done this?
Europa League win, mate. You get
That's
back. Dad, let's have a look at the Spurs squad. You got 35 goals from Gyökeres. Brian Wirtz has done quite well as well.
It's not too bad, yeah. I'm quite pleased with that.
Yeah, you normally like to
goals.
get 3 players around the 20 mark or above, so that's good. £51 million, though. You've got the least budget so far.
Yeah, that's not too good, is it?
No.
I think I've got Aaron's budget, haven't I?
I think we got mixed up.
Been mixed up by the looks of it. Although, let's have a look. I might have a worse one. 36 goals from Vlahovic, 26 from Vinicius Jr. I thought it would have been more than that, actually, the amount of times we've seen him did score. But my transfer budget is 81 million. Got a nice little wage, though, because my squad's quite small at this point. Been getting rid of players here and there, but that's not too bad. Let's have a look, then, at the points after season number 3. Season 3 points are Omega Luke with 14, Dad with 4, Aaron with 10, and Robbo with 2. Meaning the total points after season number 3 is Luke with 32, Dad with 23, Aaron with 30, and Robbo with 9. Alright then, season number 4. Let's have a look at your transfers at the start of the season, Dad. With the smallest budget, you still managed to have a decent year, I would say.
Yeah, not too bad, yeah.
£63 million Dragerson going out to Manchester City.
Yep, wouldn't use him at the moment, so yep.
Brought in Shemi Kaliksoy, a decent striker.
Yes.
Another striker.
Well, where are we going with this one then?
Where are we going, I wonder? Because he hasn't got a trophy for a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's season 4. You know what's coming. Milinkovic-Savic on a free transfer. That's not too bad at all from Al Hilal.
I thought it was a good free transfer. You just got to grab these guys when you can, really.
Yeah, and Christopher Ayer from Brentford. Very versatile defensive midfielder.
He plays in all 3 positions, like Aaron said, in the spine. So, yeah, I'm quite pleased with that.
Tactics. Take a guess at what we're about to look at.
Here we go. Here's the tinkering
Of course,
starting.
it's the 3 up front.
Yes, this is my favourite tactic. This is so. Look out now, guys. I'm playing my tactic that wins.
Well, we'll see. That's fight talk there. Shemi Kaliksoy's already got himself 3 goals and an assist in the first 4 games, locking him into that DLF role.
Yeah.
So, well, let's have a trip to Arsenal then, the other side of North London, and see what's going on there. £99 million out. We've sold Leroy Sané. Calafiori's gone, as well as Vanderson. I've spent big on 2 players. £68 million to kick things off. Because Gabriel as well, by the way, has gone to Manchester City. Lois Openda from Leipzig. £68 million. Another striker. I'm taking a leaf out of Dad's book here. There's at least 3 good strikers. And Eduardo Camavinga. Another Real Madrid talent for £200 million. I'm building a squad here. That's a big
Real Madrid
signing.
squad, both of it.
Yeah, and he's still young as well.
That's a massive signing, lads. We're in trouble with this.
I don't know how he's doing it. What's Ancelotti
I
doing?
think he's taking my spending plan, to be honest.
Has he got that pen top right? Is that editor enabled or something? I'll throw accusations, mate.
Yep.
This is...
Oh, keep them coming. Keep them coming. I'll just whoop you anyway. Tactically, I've also gone 3 up front.
Hey.
4-3-3. Mine looks a little bit different to yours because I play with 1 DLP in there. And I also play with 2 DLS on the outside of an advanced forward. It's slightly different structurally, and in the game you'd see it play out differently. But that front 3 of Vlahovic, Vinicius Jr. and Martinelli, who has turned out to be an absolute baller, by the way. Very different to what he is in real life. And it also puts Odegaard in the DLP, which, to be honest, I'm not mad at. We've got an unbelievable bench with the likes of Openda, Zaire Emery, Tony Smith, those types of guys down there. It's looking quite good for the Arsenal. Aaron, Chelsea, you had a nice budget. How much have you stretched it?
Do you know what? It has been... That sounds a bit mad, that, by the way, how much have you stretched it? But it has been quite a quiet window for me, to be honest. By my standards, we've sold Sanchez, he's gone. We've pulled about 18 million quid in for that. Brought in a left back. How do you say this? David Raum, is it? Ram?
David Raum, yeah.
David Ram, there you go. Yeah, he's come in at left back. I don't think Purvis has really done much in the past couple of seasons, so I'm going to get rid of him to the bench. And then we've brought in a bit of backup there in Joelinton and Fausto Vera, I think it is, some Argentinian kid here. Looks decent, defensive midfielder. Just for a bit of backup, because I had a couple of injuries last season. I don't know who's going to retire on me mid-season anymore. I don't trust anybody. I'm not having that again, so I want players to cover if somebody does decide to sack it off and call it a day halfway through the season. And tactically,
Not even halfway. 8 games.
Tactically, guess what I've done?
Oh.
I've also gone for 3 strikers.
What's going on here?
A pressing forward, an advanced forward, and a target forward. So it's a bit of everything. A little bit of something for everyone up there. We've got a defensive midfielder, a ball-winning midfielder, and an attacking midfielder. I'm locking in that Scalvini because he didn't play many games as I wanted him to last season. I think they started playing Colwill, so we are going to be locking him in. So when you look at me best team now, we've got Calvert-Lewin, Nkunku and Dovbyk up front and Cole Palmer sitting in just behind. Chouameni and Caicedo in the middle. That is a solid midfield, that. Roman James, fullbacks, Diomande, and it'll be Scalvini. It's solid, that. I'm fancying something this season.
Well, yeah, it's not a bad lineup. Robbo, let's have a look. What have you got, mate?
I think it's the best transfer window of the whole rebuild, if I do say so myself. I knew something had to change. It's been 3 years, of course. I am on 9 points. and some of you boys are on 32. So it's probably about time something changed. We'll start off with the first transfer in. We got a lot of money in the summer. I had £106 million, and like Aaron said, I have made it stretch. First signing, Elise Ben Seguir, a world-class attacking midfielder, in my opinion. He's kind of my Asensio replacement. I probably should have done it in season 3, but I brought him in. So many 17s, 18s. He's only 21 as well, still got room to grow. He is an unbelievable attacking midfielder. I'm very excited to see how him and Bruno are going to play together. If we go on to the next screen here, I brought up a backup cam in Samardzic. It's this time on FM where you get them free transfers coming in, and Samardzic on a free, just going to be backup, but he's a great player, both-footed, can play either side in the number 10 positions, which might leak what I've done with my tactic a little bit there, but he comes in on a free. We also brought in one of your favourites, Luke, up front. Samu Omorodian.
He's a beast.
Now, I've seen the videos. I've seen the experiments. 18 off the ball, 18 pace, 17 jumping reach, goals. This guy is going to be going up front, and I think he's going to be one of the people who are a catalyst for me turning myself around in this rebuild. I'm very excited to see how he does. We've also brought in a world-class left-back in Theo Hernandez. This man's very pacey, 18 pace, he's 6 foot as well, he's quite physical, the type of fullback I like, so we're excited to see what he can do. And finally, the last signing for 116 million was Castello Luke Aber, one of the best left-footed defenders on the game, in my opinion. He's pacey, his mental stats are brilliant, he's good on the ball, he is going to be a great partner to Delit. If I go over to my tactic as well, we have changed. Now, I have used this tactic before. It is called the 4-2-2 Rose style, because if any of you boys know Marco Rose on this game, he is the greatest manager to ever exist in world football. He is unbeatable. So basically what I've done is took inspiration from him and moulded a tactic similar. We've got the pressing forward, the advance forward. We've got Fernandez and Ben Seguir, who are going to be in behind Højlund and Omorodian. I think you gents have to worry this season. I think you should all be quaking in your boots. It's time for Robbo to turn up in this rebuild.
Well, it'll be about time, mate. It will be about time. That's also, with Theo Hernandez, that's what were you, season 4? I think that's either your 3rd or 4th left back that you signed, first choice left back.
Yeah, well, we had kind of Coke Luke Shaw at left back, and we know his tendencies, so he's not the type of personality I'd have in my dressing room, so we've been trying to find the right replacement. I think Theo Hernandez is going to be the one, though.
Yeah, he's class. He is absolutely class. Some big signings, though, this summer. We've all had massive transfer windows, and, of course, we've got 3 free up fronts and a 4-2-2. Yeah, let's have a look at your schedule, starting off with Robbo's. We've got a loss to Palace at the start of the season.
Crystal Palace are a world-class team. Said it season 1. We beat them season 1, and now the world class of Crystal Palace has come back to haunt me.
Nice little draw at Anfield, though.
Yeah, we'll take it, but we should be winning by this point. Look, God's gift at Football Manager, 4th year, I should be beating everybody. It's a decent start to the season. I don't mind it.
You're in Europa League, of course. You're trying Aaron's tactic, and if we're looking at the teams in there, I think you should feel a little bit hard done by with the teams that have joined you, because Aaron had it quite easy in terms of some of the teams that was in there. You've got Juve, Leipzig, Leverkusen, Nice can be a pest in there. So can Betis if they're built right. Atalanta, especially if they've still got Gasperini, which I can't actually see the manager there at the minute, but whoever's there, they can be an annoyance as well.
It's only as easy as you make it. Only as easy.
Yeah, no, you're right. You've got to beat the best to be the best. And with me on 9 points, I should probably apply that quote to everything. But
I might pop back in there next season. I'm not too keen on this Champions League. I might pop back down there next season.
It's nice in here, isn't it? You feel a little bit more comfortable looking at it.
Might have another go at that. Might have another go at that other one.
Yeah, that Leverkusen could be a tricky game. All right, let's have a look at Aaron's fixtures. We've also got a nice little draw against Liverpool at home there. You've also beaten Real Madrid in the UEFA Super Cup.
That's nice. Do I get a point for that?
You don't, no. But
it's nice for the manager history, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Did beat Palace, did beat Wolves and Newcastle, and you've drew Arsenal in the EFL third round.
Ooh, that's points for one of us then.
Over to Dad's schedule at the start of the season. 3 wins out of 4 and a draw to Villa.
Yeah, I'm happy with that start. Quite good, yeah.
Beating Man City too.
Yeah, I mean, that's even better, isn't it? So a draw against Aston Villa is not a bad result, I don't think. So
no.
I'm going to take that as a good start.
And we mentioned Kalik Sawyer, you're one of your signings. He's got both goals there against Manchester City and the only goal, the winner, against Fulham. So he's already gained you 6 points.
Yeah, the only thing I'm a bit disappointed really with going 3 up front, I haven't scored that many goals.
No, that is true.
It's a bit alarming, really.
Yeah, that is true. Champions League fixtures, you've also got Arsenal.
Ooh.
So we've got another point in there. So again, this is where I think I've been good with points so far, because although I had that great season where, of course, I won the cup, last year, or 2 cups, but almost Champions League. Not a lot of you have been knocking me out or beating me for me to be losing the points, and that's where I think I'm doing quite well in terms of points so far after 3 seasons. Schedule though, let's have a look at mine. I've drew to Wolves, which is a bad result. Outside of that, we are looking quite good. So got battered in the Community Shield to Liverpool though. That's fine. But hey, I'll take it. Season number 4 we're into now. It's getting crunch time for all of us. Let's see what happens. Right, season number 4 then, and it's Arsenal who are Premier League champions. But what I gotta say is it's all 4 of us.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good top 4.
Good race.
The top 4, yeah, we've done well there. But Dad, you are bottom of it, so you don't get the point, unfortunately.
Look at the finish right at the end. Lost 2 and drew 1 out of my last 5 games. I'm chucking away at the end of the seasons.
Yeah, you're 3 points behind Chelsea and Aaron, but there was 3 points again behind Manchester United, and then 13 points behind my Arsenal side. I've done very well there at the start of the season. Lost 4 times, once to Manchester United, once to Tottenham Hotspur. That's annoying.
Get in.
Drew 4 games, didn't draw against you though, which means I'm picking up some wins as well, boys. 5 losses for Robbo. 1 of them was against Arsenal, but that is the only one, which is a good sign for you.
Yep.
7 losses for Chelsea, both times against Arsenal.
Yeah, you've done me this season.
I beat you both times again, Aaron.
I didn't beat hardly any of you, did I? You all beat me, look.
Yeah, we all beat Dad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you didn't get many points there at all, Dad. You picked up some draws. You got 8 draws in total. 1 of them was against United there. So some bad results there for you.
Yeah.
Past positions, because we've got quite a close one at the top of the league. Was it close throughout the season? I think in terms of you 3, a lot of the time you were flirting with each other in there, but I think I must have just had a few points more.
I chased you for half the season by the looks of it.
Yeah.
And then just fell off.
You've got 96 goal difference. How many goals was that? 132 goals in the Premier League. That is mental.
Yeah, that's a joke, that.
The 3 up front. And if we're looking at the player statistics, Rasmus Højlund and Rashford was the Golden Boot winners with 23. Then the 3 underneath it is 3 of my strikers, and they dominated the average rating alongside Michael Coyote as well. So that's quite an interesting thing to see, because how well both of your strikers did, and you had a 47 goal difference.
I mean, like I said
must
before,
just be leaking goals.
I mean, performing miracles though. Imagine Marcus Rashford and Rasmus Højlund getting 23 Premier League goals each.
Yeah, that's mental.
There's just a quick other stat I want to point out as well. Average attendance 10k more than any other team. It's for the fans. It's for the fans.
United. Get in. Bruno Fernandes had the most assists, 19 there. However, I have just noticed he is leaving the club.
Yeah. Might have been a little bit of a technical difficulty with the upstairs staff. Of course, as a world-class manager myself, I would never let something like this go under my thumb. Obviously, the upstairs forgot to give him a contract. I'm absolutely devastated. I actually can't believe it. Just as I got him ticking as well, top assister in the Premier League. That's a bad one.
Yeah. Competitions then. Let's have a look for this Arsenal side. Did I win anything else? Oh, it's a Champions League, the first one of the video. And it's a 5-0 win. Jesus, against AC Milan.
That's bad news for us, lads. Bad news for that is.
Should we just grab our jackets,
That's
lads?
a lot of points.
I think it's time now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm absolutely cooking with this Arsenal team. But runners up in the Carabao Cup, and that is because Robbo beat me.
Get in!
Robbo's won something. Go on,
Hey,
Robbo.
You got to beat the best
Big
to be
win,
the
that.
best, and he could not beat the best. Come on, the Carabao!
Cracking win, mate. And let's
Yeah.
have a look at your competitions next then to see how else things played out. Because it's not just the Carabao Cup you are lifting. You've had an unbelievable season and also done the Europa League.
Yeah,
You can only
keep
keep a dog down for too long, and I am so back. What a season! I mean, if you were to tell Manchester United in 4 years from now they'd be second in the Premier League, Europa League winners, and Carabao Cup winners, beating Arsenal by the way in the final too. Don't forget that. I think they'd be very pleased. We're doing it for the fans.
Yeah.
I'm buzzing.
Semi-final of the FA Cup as well. That's good.
Yeah, which means
Nearly went
Liverpool
all the way.
is in there. Do one of you guys beat him in that final? Well, let's have a look at Aaron first and his competition page. There it is.
The FA Cup. 4 seasons,
FA
4
Cup.
trophies for me there. 2 FA Cups, a Conference League and a Europa League. We're winning every season. We've also won the... What's that? Is that the Club World Cup? That? I think it is. I don't know what it is actually. I've won something, and the Super Cup as well. They don't count for points, but it's all good.
It's trophies in your cabinet,
That's
mate.
it.
That's the main thing. You did lose, unfortunately, in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup.
I did.
To Arsenal.
Yep.
And it was a 7-2 win.
So you've done me twice in the league as well this season.
That's a big win. I'm definitely your bogey team.
Yeah,
mate.
you're
I
just
can't
having all the
remember you
points
actually
off me. I'll just give you them.
Liverpool beat you in the knockout playoff round, so it's nice that you got your revenge in the FA Cup.
Yeah, the
there.
FA Cup final.
That's
yeah,
good.
All the cups are gone.
All the
So we
cups
just
are gone,
carry
Dad.
on. Just carry on. Let's go to the next round.
Competitions in the semi-final, you lost to Arsenal of the Carabao Cup. I beat you
Just as well,
4-3. But I do think, off the back of
I
that,
get a point there.
you get a point because
Yeah.
you beat me in one of the... Oh, no, it's a draw. It's a draw. So sorry, you don't. Never mind. It's 1 point to me and 1 point for knocking
Give it
you
to me in
out.
one hand and take it away from the other.
Yeah, that's it.
Did Dad stop playing after season 1, or?
I think I
It
have.
looks like
Yeah,
he
I've,
has.
I've done
Yeah.
a proper Spurs here, haven't I?
Yeah, he's really Spurs there. He even put in the 3 up front, and it still hasn't worked for him.
No.
Quarter-final of the Champions League. We got to look at the Champions League because, of course, we played each other in the league phase. Now, there was 3 of us in there. Tottenham, you were the only one to finish in the top 8. Don't get any points for it, though. You lost to Real Madrid, which means you did beat me in the group stage. You got some points there. Chelsea finished down in 11th. Lost 3. I don't think we played each other, no. And then, of course, I finished down there in 14th. I beat Rennes, though.
Beat Rennes, yeah.
Get in.
Well in.
Let's have a look then at the squad. Now, we'll start off with Dad. 27 goals for Rafael Leao. Even Brennan Johnson's getting 20.
Yes.
What happened to Kaliksoy? He
I
did
don't
really
know.
well at the start.
I mean, you go 3 up front, you expect to get a lot more goals than that, so that really didn't work for me this season, did it? So
No.
it might be a bit of tinkering going on again.
Oh, yeah, wouldn't surprise me. You would have won the Champions League and tinkered. £43 million, though, to spend in the budget. Not too bad. For my Arsenal side, we got 36 goals from Vlahovic, 29 for Openda. Vinicius Jr.'s chipping in. Martinelli is surprised me the most, though. 23 and 28. And I've got £72 million, with a very nice wage budget, too, to spend some more money. Aaron's Chelsea, 22 goals, 21 goals, and 20 from the 3 strikers up there with Nkunku, Jackson, and Dovbyk. Calvert-Lewin's dropped off, mate.
There's not many of us chipping in either. When you have a look down the list, people getting 3 here, 3 there. I need more goals from the midfield there.
Yeah, by the looks of it, you do. Now, transfer budget, you got £51 million, but we know the wheeler dealer that you are.
Listen, it is the final season. I am going to cripple this club financially because I'll be gone at the end of this season. I'll stretch that as far as I possibly can.
You might as well put a 0 after that one
Yeah.
because there's $500 million going to be spent easily. Robbo, we looked at yours, didn't we? 42 goals from Marcus Rashford and 36 from Rasmus
That is
Højlund.
mental.
I'm going to start asking where the statue is going to get made. What I am doing at
must-
this club is
He must be happy, though, because you made him vice captain as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, though, for my squad there, losing Bruno there, 52 goal contributions, and I'm losing him on a free. It's an absolute nightmare, but that gives someone else some room to step up, hopefully, leading into a big season 5.
By the way, I spent £35 million on Joe Linton for backup. Do you know how many games he played?
How many?
0. Didn't even get on. His morale is abysmal. He absolutely hates it here, and he hates me. I've ruined him.
Robbo, you got £34 million, mate, even after that such great season.
We absolutely bust the bank, but hey, look, 2 trophy wins for what has been a dark and dismal rebuild for me so far. I've got to take it.
Well, it does mean a lot of points.
It does.
Let's have a look at that points tally after these 4 seasons. Season 4 points, Omega Luke with 26, Dad with 2, Aaron with 6, and Robbo with 14. Meaning the total points after season 4 is Omega Luke with 58, Dad with 25, Aaron with 36, and Robbo with 23. Final season then, Dad. You had a bad year, so let's start with you.
Yeah, there's a couple of big signings here to help me out, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even Isak has left the club, by the way.
Yeah.
Just £24 million going out.
Well, I'm going to do a bit of tinkering today, so I don't need him now.
I like this as well. Signed Milinkovic-Savic for £0 from a Saudi Arabian club. Sell him back there.
Yeah.
For £40 million a season later.
Aaron, learn from that, my friend.
Yeah. That's how you make bigger transfer budgets.
Yeah.
Nico Williams coming in for 171.
This was the main reason why I sold quite a few players, really, just to get this one player in. This is the one I was hoping that's going to do the damage for me, really. So, yeah.
Jarrell
This one-
Hato.
And this one is to sort of get my defence being a little bit better. I'm a bit disappointed in my defence at the moment.
Okay.
So that's a bit more stronger there as well.
Valentino Carboni. I do like a signing of Valentino Carboni.
This is sort
a
of
bit
just
a
sort
backup
of
for you.
helping the sort of getting sort of players in just in case I get any injuries or decide not to play for me anymore and
Retiring.
retire. Yeah.
Pashko Gross for 900k.
It's a bargain, really, isn't it? I mean, I know he's 36, but he's still got it.
Don't ask him to accelerate.
His natural fitness is 17, so
Yeah.
it's just another one just having the background, really.
And then another player that left Robbo's club, Lissandro Martinez.
I couldn't believe
I don't know if you knew about it either.
What's
Robbo.
going on? What's going on here?
He's on a freebie, mate. I'm going to take him in every
He's
day of the
signed
week.
Martinez. Dad's got Martinez.
Dirty little snake.
And Another Judas!
He signed the 25th of July. He was out of a club for like 25 days.
I'm telling you, them lot upstairs are getting fired. I'm going to have a word with the new owners. They don't know what they're doing. Clueless.
So, yeah, I didn't know whether you knew about that. That's
I
quite
did-
funny.
no, I
This
didn't.
is how you found out.
Wow. Yeah, mental. Dad, terrible from you. Can't believe it.
He said there were a bunch of Muppets back there.
Whoa.
What, and he joined Spurs?
I know.
Tactically, you switched it up. 4-2-3-1 with a dropped right midfielder.
Yeah, I put it back to sort of. I didn't win the league with this formation, but I've done a little bit better than I have done with playing three up front. So I've gone back to playing one up front and sort of being a bit more stronger in midfield and all that. Sort of. Hopefully this will work. I need a few points, so that hopefully this will get me.
Yeah.
I could do with winning at least one cup. Just give me one cup.
Speaking of cups, I've had quite a few of them. Let's have a look at my transfer budget, or the transfers that I've done this season. Just the one signing. I sold a few players, and I brought in Hakimi. I think, looking at my side, I was still using Ben White at right back. There isn't a lot of options. Coyote's normally my go-to. He was already snapped up. So I went for Hakimi. £190 million it cost me, but he only played 22 games last season at PSG. So I think it's worth bringing him in, giving him some football, putting an arm around him, and see what he can do in an Arsenal shirt. And I haven't changed it from last season. Of course, Champions League winners. Had to keep it there. Hakimi goes straight in my starting 11. So I'm liking the look of what we've got so far. And if we're looking at just ability-wise, like my starting 11 has so many 4.5 and 5-star players. It's disgusting. Right, let's go over to Aaron.
Right.
You had an okay budget, mate. Let's have
Yeah,
a
it was a
look.
nice little bit of a budget, but obviously I've made it a lot bigger. As you know, I like giving an old player a last chance, like I did with Messi. It come back to bite me on the arse on that occasion. But I found Joshua Kimmich without a club, world-class centre mid there. I think he'll just bring a lot to the middle of that pitch. We've mentioned it a few times in this video. The spine of the team is very, very important. So with him and Tchouaméni in the midfield there, I don't see how it gets much better for me. I've spent all my money on one player. Victor Boniface, £105 million. Now, he is my sort of striker. Just look at the man, 6'3". You know, he gets up. He's not slow, he's quite quick. I think him, Calvert-Lewin, who else have we got up there? Dovbyk.
Nicholas Jackson.
There'll be some Nicholas Jackson. Yeah, they keep playing him, don't they? But there'll be some goals there between them. Tactically, I've switched it to an inside forward this time. I've still got like the 4-2-2, but I've moved him slightly wider to have an inside forward, to give Cole Palmer the position that he wants, really. Because I think I've been pissing him off over this rebuild. I've been playing him out of position, putting him in places he doesn't really want to be. Locking in Scalvini, Tchouaméni and Boniface, because I don't think a couple of them was in. No, they wasn't. So yeah, it's green lines all over the place here. Reece James and Cole Palmer there. It's putting Jackson in again. So that's what is it? Is he good on this game or something?
No, that's the worst thing about it. I mean, he ain't bad, but the 11 off the ball puts me off.
So yeah, I've had to swap it over and put obviously Boniface up there in that position. Kimmich and Tchouaméni in the middle, but I'm up for it. This is the season. We've gone for broke. We've spent all our cash, probably all next season's cash, and probably all the season after's cash. So this is it now.
Right, okay, Robert, let's have a look at your final season at Manchester United, who you brought in.
So, transfers out. We had two major transfers out. We had Vitinha going to Al Ittihad for 71 million and Skamaka going for 60 million. So I managed to raise 130 million because my budget was absolutely shocking. Now, I had the impossible task of replacing the best attacking midfielder in the world, Bruno Fernandes. And I brought in a bit of a legend on my channel, Alex Scott. Now, Alex Scott at this point looks absolutely unbelievable. There wasn't too many options left out there, and he was the best that I could get. Physically, he's great. Mentally, technically, he's great. I'm hoping he can have the same impact as Bruno Fernandes, but it's huge, huge shoes to fill. So we're going to see if he can do it or not. And we only made one other signing, a release clause signing. I was surprised to see him actually still available. Alessandro Bastoni, a left-sided defender. He looks absolutely immense at this point. He's a very consistent player. He's got yellows or greens. I'm not sure what colour you have it. Absolutely everywhere. He looks unbelievable. If we look tactically, the only thing that I have done is actually lock in Amad Diallo. Now, this is a little bit of a risk, but I looked at Amad's stats and I thought to this season, as a United season ticket holder, who gave me the most wow factor? And it was Amad Diallo. I'm going to trust him. I'm going to listen to the fans. They want to see Amad play some football. He is now in the team. He does look class as well. to be fair, lots of great stats, but I'm keeping the same tactic, the 4-2-2. The last season by far was my best season, so I'm hoping this season we can just kick on again. The team are now familiar with the tactic. I've got a settled squad, a smaller squad. I think we're going to have a great year.
All right. You also sold Rugery in that as well, which gave you a bit more of a budget, I did notice, in that £61 million for Rugery. So that's giving you a little bit more. Go for broke, mate. Final season. In the schedule, you started off very well because you did beat Aaron 2-0 away from home. His first game of the
Stamford
season.
Bridge.
It's probably about
you've struggled
time.
there. Yeah, you're coming into it now.
Maybe this is a turning point, but then, the next game... it's
only the Super Cup, mate. It's only the Super Cup, but
Yeah.
it's 4-1 against Arsenal. But then, it's been 3 wins in the Premier League and an 8-4 victory against Aaron's Chelsea.
I mean,
Yeah, I think this Borgie team thing's finished now.
I mean, listen, I am looking at this and I am a giddy monk. I am absolutely ready for this season. I genuinely do think this might be my year.
Not a bad season whatsoever. Right, let's have a look at Aaron's start of the season. Then we know he's got the 2 losses to Manchester United, but he also lost in the Community Shield to myself again. So this is the thing. You guys are not beating me.
Every season.
Yeah, and it's giving me points. But you have lost a Premier League game to Villa, as well as that Manchester United one, and Crystal Palace and Bournemouth with victories.
Yeah, it's a rocky start for me here. And I've just looked down and I've noticed I've got to play you in the league phase of the Champions League as well.
Oh, yeah. At Arsenal as well. So that's the tricky one.
Yeah, it's not a good start for me, this.
Dad, let's have a look at your schedule at the start of the season. You have also played me in the EFL. So I've played everybody at the start of the season.
That's another cup I'm not going to win, then, isn't it?
6-1. I battered you there.
Terrible, isn't it?
Huge
Down
win.
to 10 men as well, but I've got a good league start.
Good Premier League.
I'm scoring more goals with being 1 up front than I was when I had 3 up front. Unbelievable.
But there we go. Now, that leaves my start of the season. We know a lot of the results already. I have lost, though, to Manchester City at the start of the season, my very first game. But outside of that, it's looking really good. And this is the first year, I believe, where I haven't started the season as top. That's Manchester City, who's got 4 wins from 4. But will it stay that way? It's the final season now, season number 5. All points matter because nobody wants to finish bottom. And I think somebody's going to have to do a miracle if they want to finish top. Well, it's another Premier League win for Arsenal. 90 points there. Dad finishing in 3rd, but Robbo in 2nd place again. 88 points, just 2 points behind me.
I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. So
that
close.
Some doing with compared to where you started, where you finished, mate, is actually really impressive, to be fair.
I'm devastated, Luke. I'm devastated.
Chelsea, unfortunately, Aaron, we're not playing Europa League next year.
No,
so
they've gone for that.
You can't use that tactic again.
I finished nearly 30 points off the top of the league there. I don't know what's going on. I've been nowhere near a league title. I've been the Cup King, I think, in this rebuild. Season 5 is my first... I've struggled there.
Aston Villa have actually crept into the top 4 by the looks of it. They've done quite well, 74 points. But looking at the profile of the league, the Golden Boot goes to Marcus Rashford, who also has the highest average rating and has the 3rd highest player of the match. We're looking at, obviously, how good Man City and Liverpool are. They've got like the likes of Jamal Musiala. So...
Yeah.
There's a reason why they are still really good. Karnaseki with the most clean sheets, 19 in fact, massive. That's half of the games across the season. Managed to keep somebody out from scoring, which is really impressive.
He is he's such an unbelievable goalkeeper. Putting faith into him. The fans, told you, listen to the fans, look at that average attendance. There's a reason why we're 13k ahead. Unbelievable.
Unfortunately, you don't get points for attendance.
No, you don't.
Yeah, still impressive, yeah.
He must be the only person who looks at that.
yeah.
Hey, all stats matter. Stats don't lie.
Let's look at the league games then. So, losses for Arsenal. Manchester United defeated me 4-1 at Old Trafford. But again, nobody else managed to beat me there. 6 losses for Robbo against 1 for each team.
Yeah, that's
so
poor. That's it. Kind of, finishing
3 points.
Yeah. So you look at the season in second, and I think, wow, I've actually done really well there. But if I'm losing to you boys and giving you points, it doesn't actually benefit me as much.
No, we still get the 2 points, obviously, for finishing second out of us 4. But Dad with the
2 losses against Arsenal. That's the ones that don't me.
Yeah, that's Ideal, happy days. And this is where I'm racking up points because I'm not only I'm winning the league, but I'm getting the highest amount plus games against you. Chelsea, 13 losses.
That's a lot of losses. That's the most losses that I've had. That's the most. It's nice, but isn't it, Robbo, when you're not in this position?
I'm just waiting for the scroll joke to come out from Luke.
Yeah, go on.
I'm just waiting for that. I had it for 3 seasons.
Yeah, we can't see the other 3. We're going to have to have a look.
There it is.
See the first 10.
Yes.
Both Arsenal games are on there, though, Aaron.
Yeah.
Have you beat? I can't quite remember if you've knocked me. I think you knocked me out of a couple too.
Yeah, I don't think I've beat you in the league in 5 years, to be honest.
No. Ipswich, they're breaking headlines again. Look, they've won something, which means we might not have won something. We'll have a look. Now, we're on Arsenal competitions. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a double cup win.
Oh, well, lads, that's game, set, and match, isn't it, I think?
Honestly, lads.
It's a domestic treble for the Arsenal, a Premier League, an FA Cup win against Fulham, and a Carabao Cup win against Crystal Palace. You got to beat the world-class teams.
True, that is very true.
Quarter-final by Inter Milan in the Champions League. There's still a Champions League there for you boys to win. Let's have a look at Dad and his competitions at the end of the season. Semi-final by Fulham.
Close again.
Quarter-final was Real Madrid.
That's twice they've knocked me out.
Yeah. Is that consecutive seasons?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
It might be. Aaron, competitions in this final year.
Yeah. It is.
Round of 16 by Real Madrid.
Yeah, it's my first empty-handed season, and do you know what? It doesn't feel nice, this.
Obviously, we knew about United knocking you out in the Carabao Cup, but Forest knocked you out in the 4th round of the FA Cup, so at least it wasn't.
At least
I've
not been knocked out by one of you boys to give more points away.
Yeah, which leaves Robbo. And if we're looking at Robbo's, the Champions League was there to win, and he got all the way to the final. Inter Milan.
I'm heartbroken. You know, if I would have ended this video with only 2 points behind the Premier League and a Champions League win, I would have been more than satisfied. I am absolutely devastated with that final. Terrible.
You battered Bayern Munich in the semi. 7-2.
I know. And if I'm just having a look into the final here. Rashford got injured at half-time. A few players just didn't turn up in the big game. Amad Diallo didn't turn up. We just had a poor final, and we were so good all the way there as well.
You'd have won that if you had Bruno.
I'm heartbroken.
Yeah, if you had Bruno, you might have won it.
Exactly. Maybe the difference maker.
Knocking out Barcelona in the quarters as well. Quarters, semi-finals, really good results. Barcelona and Bayern Munich.
You don't get anything for finishing second, though, do you? You got to beat the best to be the best, and I've come runners-up in the league, runners-up in the Champions League. I feel like I'm on the edge of being at the top, but we're out of time, aren't we? 5 years are done.
We are indeed, yeah. The league phase, we had a couple of fixtures against each other. Dad, I know, it was Chelsea. I beat Aaron.
Yeah, it's not really surprising.
Wins out of 8, 3-2, yeah. Finished down in 17th though, mate. Still qualified from that.
Yeah.
You didn't get knocked out in the league phase like the first time.
I managed to get better than that, but yeah.
The other 3 of us actually managed to qualify in the top 8, which is quite impressive actually for 3 of us to do. Dad managed to do it by only winning 4 games. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I didn't lose though, did I? So
No. All right, for the final time then, let's look at the goals. It was 43 for Marcus Rashford, which is quite mental actually. 27 for Rasmus, a good amount in there. Aaron, we've got the final
what has
season,
Boniface
29
been doing?
goals.
Nicholas Jackson again. Look at him. Am I doing it wrong? This locking in.
Oh, funny.
Because Nicholas Jackson started 35, and Boniface, who was locked in, has started 13 games. He scored 13 in 13 as well. Why's he not playing? I'm putting a lot of this down to the assistant.
And Kunku did all right though with 18 assists, 13 goals.
He's done
but
well.
yeah, he's been robbed
the
there.
assists.
Dad on that final season, 24 goals from Victor Gyökeres.
not good enough.
No, very low.
Yeah.
Very low indeed. And my final season, 34 goals from Vlahovic, 32 from Vinicius Jr. Martinelli again with 22 and 24.
Yeah, that's really neat. You can understand why you've won the league when you see that, like goal scores like that.
Yeah.
The amount of goals you scored.
Yeah. All right, then, let's wrap the points up for the final time and see what the final outcome is. Season 5, then, 23 points for Omega Luke. Dad, 3 points. Aaron, 1 point. And Robbo with 7. Meaning the total points after all 5 seasons is Omega Luke with 81. Dad with 28. Aaron with 37. And Robbo with 30. Well, there we have it. Dad, you finished last.
I started like a star, and just went backwards from there. Typical Spurs.
That is classic Spurs. Robbo's managed to pip you at the post there with that 7 points in the final season. Massive win at the end there to make sure he wasn't finishing last. Fair play, mate.
I mean, I think them first 3 seasons, I think I was on 9 points at the end of season 3. And I mean, that is just, I mean, that's got to be an exodus from the channel in future. That is awful. But I think the last 2 seasons, I've saved a little bit of pride. Not much, but just a little bit. I think, obviously, that Champions League would have been nice. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Enjoyed it.
Now, and Aaron, thank you very much, mate. 1 point at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great, is it? But I've did the job earlier on. I'll take a second place. Nobody was catching you. What did you win it by? About 50 points in the end?
That's mental.
I would have finished third as well if it weren't for Inter Milan beating Robbo in that Champo, I think. So, yeah, I've got to thank Inter Milan a little bit for that second place.
Well, boys, thank you very much for coming on. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah,
and
thank you,
I'm
lads.
sure
It was very good.
we'll have you back on
Well
again
done.
at some point. As I said, Aaron's coming down this weekend. I'm sure you've seen all the stuff about Daisy Hill recently, so make sure you're giving their Instagram posts and TikToks a good follow, because it's very interesting to see what you're doing at Daisy Hill. It's been quite fun to watch, even in its early stages.
A lot more work than I thought it was going to be when I first took the job on, you know. You don't realise what goes into a football club.
Well, we've seen you doing the pitch and everything, mate. We've seen the
Yeah.
vlogs. We've seen that you've been putting the work in yourself. It's great to see. So up the cutters, and hopefully can do well. But yeah, I'll see you on the weekend.
Yeah, I'll
when
see
we
you
meet
there,
in the
mate.
wrestling
I'll
ring.
give you an RKO.
Yeah, I look forward to it, mate. Make sure you're checking out that on Aaron's channel. That video is going to come out. And, of course, make sure you're checking out Robbo's channel. And if you haven't done so already, he's putting out some unbelievable rebuilds. And, of course, his Twitch channel is absolutely flying. Within the last year, you kind of come out of nowhere, mate. And you're taking TikTok and Twitch by storm. And it's good to see.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I love the Football Manager community myself. I think it's a very good balance of community where you have like a bit of banter, but you also have people who are really interested in football. So you have some good conversations. So if you're interested in FM and things like that, yeah, sure, check out the Twitch. And again, it's been an absolute pleasure being on the channel with you, Luke, and you, Dad, as well. Sorry about the 4th place, though, Dad.
I can take it. I'm a Spurs fan, and I.
He's used to that. But he's actually going, God, 4th place. I did quite well there, haven't I?
I mean, when you look at it as well, over the seasons, I didn't finish that bad. I was in the top 4, like 3 of the seasons.
Yeah,
4 of the seasons. So I haven't done that bad, but just I couldn't win a cup.
You managed to get a trophy with Tottenham. He got a trophy with Tottenham.
Yeah, to
He's
be
a winner,
fair,
isn't he?
yeah. He's going to get a statue for that, I think.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah. But let me know if you managed to get all the way to the end, the Season 5 club. Let us know down in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. The video on screen right now is there for you to click, because I think you'll enjoy that one too. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.